In this video, we're going to be going over how you could use Kittl AI's Reimagine feature to build up your portfolio with just a few clicks. In just a few simple steps, you could go from this to this. And I'm going to go over how you could take an image directly from Ideogram, as well as take 9 different completed designs and transform them using this feature. Hey guys, my name is Andre and I'm currently a full-time print-on-demand seller, and I am big on using my existing data and designs to level up my print-on-demand portfolio. Something that has been trending lately are these Van Gogh post-impressionist art style designs. And since Van Gogh is in the public domain, we have pretty much free reign to use his art style with our designs. And Kittl makes this very easy to do. No design skills required. So in order to do this method, we need one image to create an image generation style, and we need an image to modify. Okay, so here we are in the Wikimedia Commons. This is a copy of the Starry Night Van Gogh painting. So let's go ahead and download this file, and this will probably be big enough for our purposes. So here we are in Kittl. We've got this little demo area to set up. I got this this image here off of running a very simple prompt giant robot rampaging in a city. So there are 2 ways that we can do the Kittl image restyle. We can right-click the image and then save as image gen style. And we wait a second. And here we go. We have another version of this here. We'll remove this one because this is supposed to be post-impressionist, not impressionist. Good job, Kittl, for catching it correctly this time. And the other way we could do it is we could click upload under saved styles and then go to the image that we just downloaded. Boom. And here it is again. Okay, so now let's take this cool image that we pulled off of Ideogram in like 10 seconds. And let's apply this saved style. We click this so that we have the blue box showing. And then we can click high for style strength. And we can click generate. And boom, here we go. In 15-20 seconds, we've got a complete reimagining of this using the Starry Night image style. Pretty good details. And in order to make this something that is suitable for a t-shirt design, we would have to actually click upscale. We want something that has at least 4,000-ish pixels because that's about how many pixels are in a standard size for print on demand. Okay, so pretty cool, right? Now, in order to best use this tool, we have to figure out where it works and where it doesn't. And I've already tested 9 different designs, and we're going to go through these results together so that we can come to some conclusions about how we can most effectively use this feature to create this instant niched down design. So here we are with the results of test 1. So in test 1, we've got this full image with chickens and a UFO. And in order for each of these tests, we're going to go high restyle, medium restyle, and low restyle. And we're going to come to some conclusions. So here we are with the high style for this design. And you could see it's working very well. We've got this feels a lot like Starry Night here. We've got all the chickens, right? We've even got this UFO and this UFO. We've got restyled clouds. Anyway, it feels very post-impressionist. It even made sure that it used a sun graphic instead of a moon graphic, which is awesome, since this is clearly a design that's shown in the daytime. Now, here we are with the medium strength restyle. Now, in the original Starry Night, there's like a big circle there, and that's kind of what showed up in the high restyle. But now we're a little bit more faithful to what was in the original graphic. Because in the original graphic, we didn't have a sun. We added some starry night elements, right? So we could see that there are going to be instances when we will need to choose a different style strength based off of what we are trying to accomplish. Okay, and here we are with the low style strength option. So this is by far the most faithful reproduction of what was originally in the design. All the chickens are the same. It's obvious that it's clouds. We do have the Starry Night elements, but it is by far the most similar to the original design. And the cool thing is that with this low style strength, we still have plenty of restyling happening. So it's still useful. Okay, so here we are in test number 2. And we completely lost the UFO with this high style strength option. It turned into one of those big swirls of the original Starry Night image. So we definitely lost some detail there. It is no longer a UFO design. The other thing that we've got is that we've got this section here that looked like it turned into jungle brush instead of being the cat's leg taking the selfie. So it completely changed this design. And we didn't have that issue when we had it be just a picture of the chickens in the previous example. So we have to make sure that we are not using things that the AI doesn't understand. So we might need to make sure that we're choosing designs or images that the AI is more likely to understand. So let's check the medium strength. Okay, here we are in the medium strength. The coloration changed quite a bit. We have the same issue here with the arm not being recognized for what it is. And at least we have something that looks like it could be a UFO, but it obviously doesn't look exactly like a UFO, so we'll give it a solid C for trying. This cat looks more realistic instead of looking more like a part of the Starry Night image. Okay, so let's see what happens when it's in the low image strength. Now here we are in the low image strength. We have the same, okay, now here we are in the low image strength and we have the same kind of issues, right? This does not look like a UFO. The leg does not look like a leg when we restyle. And the colors, again, are a little bit more on the realistic end instead of looking like the Starry Night painting. Okay, here's test number 3, and we're going to move through these a little bit faster now, but I wanted to point out a couple of things that I noticed. We've got this beam here, and it ends up not translating very well. Again, it's about the complication of it. The arms are not the same. Now, this is the high restyle. Let's quickly go through the medium restyle. This doesn't look too much like a UFO. You could see kind of the lines that indicate the motion of the tractor beam, which is interesting. And it looks a little bit more like it's a selfie, but it's using this jungle appearance, and that obviously changes what the design is. Let's quickly look at low image strength. Low image strength, it makes it look a lot more like a UFO, but it's still not very obviously a UFO. Okay, so here we are. Test 4 is significantly different, so we can take our time a little bit with it. In the original image, we've got the back of a helmet. Because we've got the high restyle, the image gen saw this helmet as an opportunity to make one of those yellow stars. So we've got this funky thing where it looks like the astronaut's facing us, but we're seeing the back of the suit. Let's see what medium looks like. Okay, medium has the same kind of deal. The colors changed a little bit. It's a little bit less clear what's going on with this helmet. Okay, so here we are with the low image restyle strength, and this one looks the most like the original image, and it still has plenty of Starry Night elements. And this looks a lot more like a sun. So in this instance, the low image strength did a lot better of a job than the high and medium. Here we are in test number 5. I think this is pretty awesome. It probably helps that the Starry Night painting is a Starry Night, and this has a Starry Night in the image. We've got this cool detailing that looks like the Starry Night here. We're using all of these colors that are adjacent to the Starry Night. It looks really well done, like an abstract painting. Let's see what medium strength restyling looked like. The helmet doesn't look quite as cool. There's a lot more variation in color compared to this high image strength restyle. And here we are in low. Low did not do nearly as well, in my opinion. It's still an abstract post-impressionist type of deal. It looks all right, but it seems like the more abstract of a scene that you're using, the more you want to use the higher strength versions of the Restyle feature. Okay, so here in this design, we have a lot of negative space. The workout, the interior scene, and all kinds of bits of the zombies all have tons of negative space. So the only parts of the design that are visible are the black elements. So we took this and we applied the image restyle to it. And because it only had this black to work with, it ended up doing some pretty funky things with the image. So I wanted to experiment a little bit to see what would happen if we added a background behind it. So instead of it being a punched out design with tons of negative space, we have it be a solid color. We added a light gray behind it, and we ended up getting results. But we also discovered that this image restyle really stinks with text, and we're going to test that some more later. But the first thing we need to figure out is, does changing the restyle strength help with the text? And the answer is no, not really. In terms of the restyling, I would say that they're all quite similar. So the conclusion that I'm drawing based on how high, medium, and low look so similar is that when we have a blank canvas here, it doesn't matter which restyle strength we choose because it's going to automatically, very easily override a blank canvas. So in test number 8, we've got this Sasquatch and alien, and I put a blank background behind there just because we've already figured out that this image restyle does not do well with these partial images. But adding the blank background allowed us to pull elements from the Starry Night painting. So elements of this were a pretty faithful reproduction, and some of it was not. This alien looks a little bit like a mummy. I don't know where this toxic green is coming from, but it is at least taking the shapes into account. So let's see what happens when we go through medium and low. So when we go from high to medium, the face comes through better on both of them, and we have more of a halo effect on the graphic that was included, and it did pretty good. Let's see what low does. Okay, so low really increased how much the alien looked like an alien, and we also got better shape fidelity on Bigfoot. And we also got a better shape fidelity on the beam and the UFO plus night sky. And it has plenty of post-impressionist elements here. Okay, so here we are in the last one that we're going to do. So this is the high image style. We've got this really kind of messed up swirly thing instead of the sunglasses. Otherwise, it looks fine. There is no attempt at text. The speech bubble goes through, but it's basically just a funky shaped star from the Starry Night image. Here's the medium, and this is the first time we have encountered correct spelling, which is interesting to me. I guess when it's a shorter word, it might do a better job. We have a little bit better fidelity on what the sunglasses look like. We got the frame at least, but we're supposed to have it be filled in, right? So it loses quite a bit of detail in the sunglasses. And low at least attempted the text. It added a little bit more shading to the glasses, but it's mostly just a frame and it does not act like sunglasses. Okay, so I said that was the last one, but we have a bonus one. I just thought about something that we could do that might be able to give us better results. So in this image, what I did was I took a little sketch design raccoon with a wand. It's just black. It's got a lot of blank space, and I dropped it right onto the original image of the Starry Night painting. And then I also ran the image restyle. So doing the image restyle made it so that all the placements of the elements were a lot closer, a lot more similar. It did some weird things where it was trying to make a tail for the raccoon, and it recolored everything inside of this, and it didn't use the direct colors that we saw in the painting, right? It's not just this shades of blue. We've got a filled in solid cap here, and we've got a filled in face that has the actual look of a raccoon, which is interesting to me. And the robes are the color of robes. And then we've got all of the elements here, the tower, the village, all of that looks very similar. So let's slide through and see what medium strength did. Very similar. Interestingly enough, this swirl became something that was more Starry Night than the high image restyle. The robes are a slightly different color, and the wand, interestingly, gets kind of magicked up and is the source of one of the Starry Night elements. And here we are with the low image restyle. The coloring's a little different. The detail on the raccoon is a little bit stronger here. But obviously, since the background is the Starry Night, it still has a lot of these elements. Okay, so that was a lot of testing and information. So what are some conclusions that we can draw from this test on how we can quickly pick designs that we can cross niche using this style? So some conclusions that I had were the image restyle feature worked pretty strongly even at low settings. But when we use high threshold image restyles, we lose a lot of the details of the original image. We also learned that image restyle does not play well with text. Another conclusion I had is that when we do something complicated like having a selfie get posed for, it really doesn't play well with this restyle feature. Another conclusion is that we can't really play with transparency within the design, because that will just be a clear punch out, which kind of kills the point of this post-impressionist art style. But we also discovered that putting some kind of solid color behind the design made it so that it was very easy for the AI to take that solid color and apply it with high strength, no matter if we were high, medium, or low image restyle strength. Okay, so we have all this information, we have these conclusions. So what's next? For myself, I am going to be going through my portfolio of thousands of designs, and I'm going to be picking all of the designs that have a very strong graphical scene element and using this image restyle feature to turn that scene into its own post-impressionist painting. Now, if you're looking for more niches that you could potentially apply this style to, then look no further than this video over here, where I go over a beginner's guide to niche research. And at the end of that video, I also provide you with a list of 2,000 different niches that you can check out. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in that video.